This is Alan Rickman. This show is a cesspool of nonsense, and no one should waste time on it. Listener discretion is advised.
You're watching footage of Elon Musk hate-fucking what appears to be Rob Riggle in the middle of a crowded street, and Tesla stock plummeted in a dimension where things make sense. But in our upside-down shit world, Tesla stock is at an all-time high.
That's great.
Welcome to the American Moron Entertainment Network.
We shall drink the fear of those who mocked us.
Not working again.
No, you don't have any feet. I was experimenting with different instrumental themes we'd get away with. We could play that we wanted to do our own little theme or something, but I can't decide on just one. Oh man, you got nothing. We're getting that we are consistent. Nothing. I'll just sit here and rock out to this shit. So yeah, we're doing our normal. We didn't get it right for some reason. It's all the technology. It's never our fault. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Yeah, nothing. Ooh, we never went this long into the song, man. Didn't know it had a. Are you good? Let's see. Refresh your page and yeah, we're live. I love the angle it gets. It looks like I shaved my head.
Freaking damn technology. Yep, now it's working.
Yep.
Well, welcome to the P word, you bastards.
Yep, it's bugging me. Yep. All right, enough of that nonsense. So there we go. There we're here. We're back.
Let's see if the sound works.
Oh, all right. Yeah, it's working.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
Let's try.
I can hear my shitty.
The last time you're gonna see a bad guy like this again.
There you go.
Let's try.
The last time you're gonna see.
Perfect.
There you go.
Try. See if there was only some technology.
Yeah,
that we could do this. No.
Or if it just worked every time.
It just doesn't because we're using substandard situation stuff.
Yeah, we're cheap. Very cheap.
Yeah. Well,
free.
Who's paying us?
Exactly. If you want to pay us, please send check money order or Argo cornstarch to
cornstarch. Yes.
Cornstarch. Yeah, sure. Why not? So real fast. Remember last week I was telling you about the Target got busted. All the guys out in the
the rever engine revers.
Yeah, those winners. So this weekend, I guess it was, I don't know, Saturday night, Friday night, something like that. Saturday night, I got a text message from Bree. She's like, 2 guys came into the back room at Target where she works and said, you need to 2 of the people that work there, you need to come with us. You've been fired and the front office or, corporate had sent us and you need to come with us. And these people were not morons. So they're like, yeah, fuck you. I'm going to get a manager and everything. And again, it was kids trying to play some kind of joke and film it on TikTok.
Oh.
Now, of course, the corporate bigwigs who came in to do all this termination shit also were wearing Death Row Records hoodies and did not look like your average corporate monkey, like, say, people I work for do. So, yeah, they were into it. But and they're kind of like blowing it off. I'm like, that sounds like a kidnapping attempt. Like, I'd be freaked the hell out. So, yeah, so that whole thing just continues on and on and on. And we'll see what happens this week.
Fun. Sounds like a great place to work.
Yeah, our ghetto Target. You don't buy another guitar, are you?
I bought many.
Are you not going to buy another one?
No.
Not now.
No.
There's too much going on.
Yeah, it's dangerous. Oh, look at that. It's got a weird
What's that?
Yeah, the camera angle's a little strange, like you were saying. It's fisheye lensing.
Yeah,
That's interesting. Yeah.
It's kind of like shooting down.
You want me to come in? We start over again, Mike?
No, we already did that.
We're fine. It's all right.
Everything's fine now.
Good. I should not have had nachos. Anyhow.
Great.
God damn it. Damn, I never
So
had
your
nachos
belly?
do that before.
Mm.
No, it's not doing that. But so anyhow. And then oh yeah, where the hell? Hang on a minute.
What are you doing?
Get a drink.
Oh, I just finished mine.
Yeah, so you're ready for another one.
You know what they say.
Drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, I don't go anywhere without them. This is going to be kind of a weird week for this.
Is that Guinness?
Yes and no. It's Guinness, El Dorado, Amber Ale. Brewed
Touch
in
it.
Beautiful Baltimore, Maryland.
That's weird.
Yeah, I was a little. I think
So it's a joint venture of some
I've
sort.
heard of this, and I've never tried it. So I'm
Lucky for us, we have glasses.
Yeah.
Not to see with, but to drink with.
La 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 la. By the way, did you go out last night in the rain, snow, hail
Why would I do
thing?
that?
I don't know. I walked around like an idiot, but I just don't
No, I
understand.
worked out on the treadmill, had my dinner, watched some TV, had a glass of wine, went to bed.
You know what? I'm not even gonna pretend. Excuse me. I'm just gonna fill the second one up. I've been behaving. I deserve this. Wow. That looks nice. Come on now. Stop. Okay, now it's like when your foot comes back, I can't move or it's going to spill. But
Nice smell.
oh, man, it smells good. I poured it with too much head. I can't drink yet. I'll drink out of here.
I like it. It's good.
Oh my God, that is really good.
Mm-hmm. That might be in the top 3 beers we've ever had.
Yeah, that one's really, really good.
So this
All right,
is
so
El Dorado Amber Ale from Guinness,
Baltimore.
in conjunction with Open Gate Brewery. I don't know how that all works, but it's in Baltimore. Maybe somebody else who knows. It does say Guinness.com on the can. Horrible print job, I have to say.
Yeah, it looks like it was a moving can. When
Oh
they did.
boy, this is a mess.
Let's look it up.
Yeah, they smashed the black plate in, and that's why it looks like that.
Oh crap. What is it? Amber?
It's good stuff, though.
Let's see.
I told you my wife's working with Boston Boston Brewing,
Yeah.
which is better known as Boston Lager and et al. I mean, they own a lot of different companies, which is nice.
So here we are. So the only brewery in the world combining over 260 years of Irish brewing experience with American beer creativity. Prove that mathematically. Announces a permanent addition to the Mid-Atlantic beer market.
Perfect
Guinness
spot.
El Dorado Amber Ale from the brewers at the home of Guinness in the U.S. Open Gate Brewery in Baltimore. All right.
Mm.
It is insanely good.
Yeah,
It's I'm gonna try some more. I was drinking out of
it's really good.
I can finally get past the head without embarrassing myself.
It is really good. I like it.
There's more in here, so yeah, it's nicely
It's Corona time.
No. It's Guinness
No, it's
time.
It's Corona time right now.
it's balanced. I mean, it's got enough malt, it's got enough hops.
It's
It's really, really
Corona
nice. And look
time.
at the color. I love that.
It's a good color. It's a beautiful amber, and it actually tastes like what you would expect amber to taste like. Is that possible?
No, I think amber would taste like sap, but that's just me. Or
I mean amber beer.
that. I gotta find Otter Creek Copper Ale. I think you'll like that too.
That sounds good.
It's from Vermont. I used to get that up when I used to ski in Killington.
I drink the beer from the glass, but that's boring. That's good. Ooh, yeah, that's more like it. Keep pouring. I have the German accent, and so of course I love beer. And how much can the good hold? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3,
Beer.
Make me feel like I'm about to have the most painful sex I've ever had.
Yeah.
Oh, and my wife shows up right at that moment. Hello.
Okay, take a 6-pack.
Oh, Bob and Doug.
For this take a 6 to your favorites, right?
like Russian roulette. It's called the Beer Hunter.
Whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
What the hell was that?
I'm gonna tell you something.
Beer.
It's good for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers, a shot of whiskey, a margarita.
This is like the worst.
It's Stone Cold Steve Austin, I
I
think.
said, Stone Cold, why have one when you can have them both?
I was just gonna say it's the worst version of 1 bourbon, 1 scotch, and 1 beer I've ever heard.
To do. All the bowling alleys had been wrecked. So as I spent most of my time looking for beer.
This is great, man.
That's Bob and Doug from SCTV. He was like the last man on earth.
So we never talked about it. We skirted around the issue and we had spoken about talking about The Last of Us.
Yes.
What a show.
It's really good.
I mean, when you think that it's based on a video game.
Yeah. Well, they also
super well interpreted.
Soon they're going to come out with there's a Gears of War show going to come out.
That would be that always looked like I wish that was a movie, not a game.
And a Fallout thing is coming to Netflix. And I don't know why my voice is sounding like this all of a sudden.
Hello.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I'm better now. So yeah, I mean it works. What was it? The 3rd episode, the ones with the 2 guys. The one with God damn, I can't think of it.
Are you talking about Gear Wars?
No, Last of Us.
Oh.
The 3rd episode with the 2 guys that were living together.
And that was the guy from Parks and Recreation, and he's incredible.
He's a great guy. But my God, man, I was like crying at the end.
Yeah,
it
was pretty sad.
It was so good.
It was so sad.
It was so good. Like just
when it came on, I forgot that you had told me that it'd be a good one to watch and all that. And so I'm watching it, and I'm like, this is going to end poorly for my emotions.
Yeah.
It was a great episode.
It's kind of
it was almost that could have been a movie, which it was an hour.
Yeah.
Just add another 25 minutes on, and it's a movie. It was good. But every episode is great. It's riveting. I used to read this author. His name was S.M. Sterling, and he wrote a series of books about an apocalyptic future. And it's a crazy, crazy, crazy story. But apparently, in his book, something happens to it's one of the islands off New England.
Nantucket?
It's Nantucket. Yeah, very good. And so Nantucket present day gets sent back in time like 700 years.
Oh.
And the island from 700 years ago comes to present day.
No,
and by all appearances, that's all that seems to have happened in the present. However, internal combustion engines don't work. Anything that uses oil-based combustion doesn't work anymore. So they're left. The only thing they can burn is wood. And
well, I mean, I imagine they wouldn't have any. I mean, but it worked until they ran out of fuel.
So they come to the assessment that there's some sort of parasite that came with this change, and they don't know that Nantucket's gone everywhere.
Gotcha.
That infected or did something to all of oil-based products. So there is no plastic-based anything able to be made, or everything's all screwed up. And then there were people that were on Nantucket that were thrust back in time, and they're forging on their timeline because they figure out where they are eventually.
Yeah, but
they know history, so they know where to go and how to manipulate things. Yeah. They know who wins the wars and what has happened, and it's very interesting. So you had 2 series of books, and they both went on divergent paths.
They would have to wait a hell of a long time for any wars to happen there.
Well, they basically made wars happen because they were like, oh, King Solomon's mines and all this stuff. They, whatever was going on at the time frame, they fell in. With that being said, in present day,
have you talked
society size? I think I did.
I think you did mention it.
All of society begins to collapse, and it's very interesting. The way he approaches the collapse of society, and the first thing that you notice is the inner cities. When I say inner cities, I mean city centers collapse because There's no food coming in. All services are shut off, and very quickly everybody just turns on each other to survive. The people that are far out, way out in the hinterland, they're the ones that are figuring out how to survive, and they're forming clans.
Well, that's like
and close society. So in the last one of the last episodes, I think they finished the series for the year. I don't know. Is there more coming?
More coming?
Okay. Well, one of the most recent ones, they go to one of those places. They go to a society like that where his brother, the main character,
that's actually Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Is that where they did
it's
that?
A ski site.
Man. So that's very similar to what they do in this. Of course, they have power in
it's easy enough to do. Just grab a bunch of alternators and make a little bit of.
But none of that would work in this other.
Yeah.
So they reverted back to steam engines and all this crazy stuff. And in LA, the LA story was very cool. He did multiple books, this guy S.M. Sterling, about multiple aspects. And then one of my favorite writers of all time, John Varley, who wrote the Gaia series. Did you ever read it? Titan.
It sounds familiar.
It was a very popular science fiction series in the 80s. Anyway, he did a spin on his take on that same scenario with oil-based things going wrong. And
unlike real world.
Right. Here it just goes right and we just use it all up. Anyway, his book was fantastic as well. And I might be combining two of these things together because it's been years since I read all of it, and maybe I'm fucking all this up. But the main point of my story is society fails when
shit doesn't happen.
Systems don't come together, and there's no power, and there's no food coming in, and
Last Babylon was like that. All the city centers went to hell, and the people out in this little Florida town were fine because they had
the outskirts,
orange groves, and they had rivers with fish in it. They even had a little place where they get salt, like all the little shit you take for granted. Like if you don't have salt intake, you're fucked.
Well, when Nance and I watch this, Nance is my wife, for those that don't know. When we watch it, we end the show and then we sit and have a conversation afterward, like it's class. And
the thing that's horrible.
The thing that's scary about all of this is the reason it's so terrifying is it's so not far-fetched.
Well, it's based off kind of real things.
Right. And when you think about what we've gone through in the last 3 years, there were glimpses into that world of societal failure. And, we lost socialization, and we lost,
common sense.
Well, there was a lot of that lost. But when you think about how easy it was, just a small sliver of things going away. Just imagine it goes away, i.e. you can't go to the grocery store because there is no grocery store, because there is no water coming in, there is no gas coming in your home, there's no electricity. What happens to your life? Your life becomes very topsy-turvy very quickly. And those who possess the grit and or will and might via weapons are going to go and take what is not theirs.
And some might in the house.
Unless you live in a fortified home, you're going to be overrun, and the weak will not survive.
Well, the problem is
survival of the fittest will kick in.
That's kind of one of the things these apocalyptic shows always freak me out about. Eventually, some douchebag is going to come along. Like if you ever watch The Walking Dead, right?
I didn't.
They go from place to place, and one of the places they find is a prison. So they go in, they chill up. The prisoners are chill. Okay. There's still some zombies in there, and they're like, so they clear all that out. And now they have a very heavily fortified,
safe place
to be.
Yeah.
And it's really great until they meet some assholes and they have a tank and they just fuck it all up. So it's that. I'll tell you, The Walking Dead was one of my favorite shows.
It's a great microcosm.
I hated that show at the end.
Oh, wow.
Because it did the cardinal failure of every show.
What, they jumped the shark?
Well,
did Fonzie get a child?
Fonzie actually, Henry Winkler is actually a ski instructor, water skiing instructor.
For real?
For real, he was. And so I guess he did all that. But
was he leading up to that or after that?
Before that. That's what he did before he was.
Well, then they incorporated something.
So he helped fuck it up. But No, what they jumped the shark was Americans, at least as far as I'm concerned, we like that WWE, WWF, like, you have the good guy against the bad guy. The good guy goes in and he wins because he's better. And then the bad guy pulls a wrench out of the crack of his ass and cheats.
Correct.
And beats the shit out of the good guy, and the good guy's injured. Now he's at a disadvantage, and the bad guy's beating the shit out of him. And then the good guy all of a sudden becomes immortal and just beats the bad guy to hell.
Yeah.
It sounds really stupid, but that's what we want. And the Walking Dead found it out the hard way because they introduced a character who was a total prick, and he was in the comic book version of it too. Total prick. Utterly cruel. Killed main characters cruelly, coldly, quickly. Even though you knew it was probably coming, it was still shocking. And he continued
No fucking way.
to fuck over the protagonists for more than 2 seasons.
So it kind of broke all the rules.
It was just unrelenting.
But you know what, though?
No.
I'm going to say it.
It's going to be wrong.
Life is like that.
Perhaps, but I don't want to be entertained that way.
Unfortunately, no.
And I know
because when we watch television, we all want good to triumph over evil,
or at least the bad
even
guys.
If the evil that you like is what you consider good. So,
although
when I say that, I refer to things like Sopranos. We all have watched shows where you rooted for some bad guy.
Hey, Doc, I'm starting to root for Thanos. What's up,
Well,
dude?
That saves a lot of stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah.
See,
But
what?
about I heard you talking about
What's
Negan.
that? Yeah, Negan.
And,
he ruined the show.
Yeah, but you look at then you kind of got to look at his backstory though of what happened. It's like the Joker. All it took was this one bad day.
Yeah. Oh, I totally get it. Yeah, but you can't have the bad guy like he changed the head character Rick. Like Rick was like he was schizophrenic anyway. One minute he's like a normal guy who steps up, then he's like a dictator, psychopath. Then he's crying like a baby. Then he's back to being a good guy. Then he's a prick. Then he's a baby again. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, it might be like real life, but I don't need. It's kind of like when you go to movies and everybody's trying to do that Sixth Sense twist in them, and I'm like, ugh, and it just makes it so dumb. And
M. Night Shyamalan's made a career of it.
Yeah, and he made a movie of it. The rest of them weren't great, but it's kind of like I think that we raised the people who are writing movies and shit now. They're trying to like piss on the script to make it something like, look what I did. No one's ever done that before because it sucks. That's why it never
running out of ideas.
But I mean, there's only I forget what it is. Only 4 themes in the world. Like there's only quests, romance, whatever the hell the other 2 are. I forget. But you have different like even Star Wars. That was just he took that from a Japanese movie,
Akira Kurosawa.
Yeah, but he put his own little twist on
the
it.
Seven Samurai.
No, the Hidden Fortress.
The Seven Samurai was another.
That was another one, but Hidden Fortress was the first Star Wars. It's the one he based it off of. But
why not? Yeah,
I mean, why the hell not? He also stole from Dune, but it just when they had. And I'm trying to think of a decent example. And Brie, if you were actually here, I could think of one. But just like you go to see, like even the last Thor movie, like such a great character. They really fleshed him out. And then they're like, let's make a funny movie about him.
That was fucking awful.
Like I was going to say, it's like making a movie about Hitler that's funny, but Jojo Rabbit was hysterical.
Well, the funniest movie about Hitler wasn't that the one that Mel Brooks did.
Which one?
The producers.
The producers.
Yeah,
you're so good, dude. You're like, yep.
Well, there's that, but there was a movie called Jojo Rabbit. It was a kid who was he grew up in Nazi Germany, and he was like he was so entranced with Hitler. His imaginary friend was Hitler, and it was played by whatever the guy who directed Thor. I can't remember.
Taki,
that guy.
Something.
Yeah, Takimaki. He
does the voice though, the rock guy, which is great.
He is good. He is good as that guy. But he was Hitler in that. And it was ridiculous because it was a little boy's version of Hitler.
Yeah.
So I forget.
So I got to show you something. I'll be right back.
Okay. So But yeah, Doc, I'm telling you, man. Like every time I watch the Avengers now, I'm like looking at it like I'm not sure Thanos was wrong.
Yeah, I still got to see that last Thor movie.
Which one? Endgame?
Rock was fucking great.
What's that? What one was it?
Ragnarok.
Oh, Ragnarok was awesome. Yeah.
See, that was a great movie, and that was a little off kilter.
It had its moments, yeah, but
By the way,
everything wasn't like all shiny and colorful and lame.
have either of you seen the full trailer
for
Flash?
I saw a trailer. Hello, Pat.
That is going to be spectacular. It's going to be unbelievable.
I think.
Did you get goosebumps?
Excuse me, I did because my boy's in it.
Yeah, I'm Batman.
So he looks better now as Batman, is more believable as Batman in his elder age. Oh, I can't wait. I am so excited to see that movie.
Looks cool.
Apparently the Patty Phillips in the house.
Latest and greatest. Pat is here somewhere, Pat Schumacher, but
okay.
Don't know where he might have disconnected. He's
So,
like half connected.
I told you, Jim, a couple weeks ago.
Oh, he's still.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, he's on it. He's okay.
All right. So I told you I was going to decal a guitar, and I was going to do it in the form of a George Lynch guitar.
Yeah.
So I ordered the decal.
Oh.
And so I get it, and I go, something's not right here.
That doesn't sound like the one you wanted.
Oh, it's what I wanted.
But it's not. What the hell?
You have to read the fine print.
Oh, what?
I apparently picked a default size, which was for a mini guitar.
For a ukulele?
Right.
Oh God, it's 8.5 by 11, dude.
So in retrospect, they said, oh, you can order, the 14 by 21 if you want, which is of course double the price. And they said, don't bother returning it because we're going to charge you a return fee and blah. So I can just, stick this on the wall. But $27 for this. This is horrifying. Look at the pixelization of this. It's not even.
Yeah, this is somebody just made this.
They scanned it.
Yeah, they usually do. Anything you buy off of, even Amazon, you have to be really careful. The shirts will be.
Well, I am now back to. I'm just going to get something off of Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I went out. These guys are American made, supposedly, and whatever. And I think the graphic quality of this is very poor.
I mean, the rest of it, you can't really screw it up because it's huge
shapes,
but it's real. The edges are really bad.
I mean, look at that.
That's terrible. But do you have like a George Lynch ukulele lying around?
I have a mandolin out there. I could use it.
Try doing that, yeah.
But
like
I'm not going to see. And their ads make it look. I mean, look at the. Well, actually, it's not much better there.
Shitty there. Yeah, it might be better as if it's blown up. Who knows?
I guess it's great if it's 7 feet away. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not really happy with it. Because I was going to buy the larger sticker to do that guitar I was telling you about.
What's the name of the seller?
Sticka.
Sticka. So they stuck it to you?
They Sticka Steve.
Sticka Steve. Oh, I see what he did.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
They gave me great stickers though. These came free.
Oh, that's neat.
Stones, right?
Somebody posted on the Upper Merion community page that Mick Jagger died.
That's nice.
And they showed a picture of an old man that obviously wasn't Mick Jagger.
This is apropos.
Oh, that's neat.
I love the 80s. And they gave me a coupon, I think.
Or that's just a thank you for
okay. Well, I don't read. So that's
letting us anally rape you.
And then there's a gift card or something. I don't know. But this is the decal for the people that are wondering.
It's tiny.
And that is supposed to be the George Lynch kamikaze finish on his kamikaze guitar. So I'm going to try and find something else, or maybe I should just buy a fucking kamikaze guitar for real.
You do that.
But I had a problem with the guitar, and I thought if I put the sticker on, it would cover up all the blemishes and burps. So, best designs and intentions go to shit. So now I got to go back to square one. It fucking pisses me off.
Maybe you could find an actual wrap, like a car wrap.
Yeah, car wrap might work.
Yeah.
Well, then he'd get one the size of a hood.
Right.
It'd be just as screwed.
Here it is. And, it's just, It was just something to keep me busy. Like I don't have enough projects. I was going to take a guitar apart and cover it in this decal and do this whole thing. I mean, you see, I've got one apart already on the bench. I've got Baby Blue. Baby Blue was back in the 80s. I had a Kramer F2000 made by ESP. Was my main stage guitar for the first probably 2.5 years of Instinct. And I got rid of it around 1990 so I could buy a piece of rack equipment, preamp. And I traded it in and, I got like chump change, $1.75 or something for that guitar.
Yeah, you could have traded for a Cadillac.
Yeah.
Or a microphone.
So
either way. Fast
forward, I found the exact same guitar in fairly good, I would call it condition three-year condition. No chips or anything like that, but it's got a couple indents in the wood and whatnot. And it needed some TLC, and it's on the bench to get reworked.
Looks really nice.
Painting some of the parts over, and I put some new stuff on for the Floyd Rose and redoing all that. And if you saw Instinct at the Red Garter, or if you saw them at the Empire Rock Club or at the Galaxy, that is the guitar that I would have been primarily playing for the majority of the night. As the band got later in its career and we were doing the Trocadero and we were doing the Red Garter, not the Red Garter. Well, we did Red Garter from beginning to end. The Cell Block, the Velvet Lounge. I was playing an RG 570 Ibanez and a Les Paul Custom, which is right behind me. So it's kind of interesting. You let things go and then you regret. So I finally got it back. And then it was funny. So I was sitting last night with my wife watching videos. I put videos on, and I was watching some Akira Takasaki stuff. And for those that don't know, Akira Takasaki is the lead guitar player for a band called Loudness out of Japan. And he is a spectacular guitar player.
They get a lot of visa problems.
Mark Perry in the house. Well, supposedly they're going to be at M3 this year.
Again?
Yes. The third chime's a charm. So
wait a minute, I think I have something for
I said to my wife, I said, if you notice the guitar he's playing, I said,
sorry.
Okay. I said to my wife, I said, if you notice something about his guitars, they're familiar in their shape to things that there's always themes in guitars that I buy. Mm-hmm. And you can see, Jim, 3 of them right in front of us. That one in particular, that is the guitar body that he played in, when he was in Loudness. He had this red guitar with these little pieces on it, and it's an X guitar. And I have 3 of them in this room. And also, they're all derived from an Explorer, and that's another guitar I have a soft spot for. So it's kind of funny, but I mean, Akira Takasaki was probably not that anybody cares about my style of playing, but if you come to see me in either Instinct or Old School, I don't really play conventionally. I don't play the way most guitar players do. And some people might not like it. Some people might, I don't know, but
fuck those people.
My guitar playing mold was really molded and in some ways after Akira Takasaki, George Lynch, and Ace Frehley. And that's and Ted Nugent. And that's a weird bastardized child, but Akira Takasaki played a more than 1/4 part of what I wanted to do as a guitar player. And if you're careful and you listen, you might hear some of that stuff. Now, I can't play at the speed level of him, and I cannot do the type of scales that he runs. I mean, it's incredible to watch the guy play. I mean, the stuff he does is just unbelievable. Mark Perry's asking about Vito. No, Vito Bratta was somebody I admired, as was Eddie Van Halen. But they were not a motivating factor, if you will. It was Ted Nugent, Ace Frehley, Akira Takasaki, George Lynch. And they were the guys. They were the main molding points in what this mess is that I do now.
They were the ingredients,
and you can hear Eddie Van Halen in what I do, but that's not really my interpretation of Eddie Van Halen. That's really more Akira Takasaki's interpretation. of Eddie Van Halen. So I'll give you a little, because I'm on a roll now.
Yeah, I was going to play the theme to Trigun because we didn't have anything, but that's not him.
So this is Akira Takasaki at the Monsters of Rock cruise.
Sounds like Verbo.
Which year? Yeah, we got
every goddamn thing I watched today on.
I might subscribe for the things I don't get the commercials, but
never.
So I'm just going to skip to. It's the tremolo use, right? Now watch this, or listen to this.
Yeah, I mean, hearing it is one thing. Watching it and hearing
It's insane. I mean, the guy's just got crazy talent. But the thing that I employ the most from what he does is it's an artificial harmonic fingernail thing where you're actually pulling your chords, strumming with an artificial harmonic across, so you can hear it when he's that little anyway.
Yeah.
Something he employs in his playing. This is all technical bullshit, but you know, to be in a cover band and use his interpretation of rhythm playing, it's kind of weird.
I don't think that's going out very loud.
No, what's making you say that?
That people on Podbean.
Oh, what are they saying?
I just asked if they could hear it because I know in the past music's been a little unloud.
Let's see if
Okay. I just feel the kick in my head.
Comes the song. It's just unbelievable. The thing that and no offense to Minoru Nohara.
Oh,
sorry, I sneezed. Not a great singer. You know, that was the big downfall of Loudness, is the vocals were just not good. And at one point they tried getting an American singer, Michael Becerra, and they did a record with him called Soldier of Fortune. They may have done a second record. And that tried to bridge the gap, but the damage was already done. So now they're back to Minoru Nohara, and you'll, for those going to M3 this year, you'll hear what I'm talking about.
Maybe.
You're not going. Oh,
no,
yeah,
maybe you'll hear. Yeah,
I'm going to be there.
They
I have a vested reason to
They
be
said
there.
they were going to be there every year I was there, and they never showed up.
Yeah, well.
And they were one of the main reasons. They were the guys I wanted to hear.
Well, I wanted to see Accept last year, but we had to leave because there were problems at my house, so I had to leave the fucking show. God, my life.
So you saw everything but Accept.
Yes.
Accept.
Pretty sure that was last year. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. Anyway, so
I speak better English than the pillows do. No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting, man. I'll play you some stuff. I can get really into it with this guy, but Akira Takasaki, let's see. He can do some weird stuff.
He looks like a young Raiden.
He's an old guy now. He was a much he looked different when he was younger. So here's from Akira Takasaki. This is off of his Tusk of Jaguar record from 1982. This is before they made it in the U.S. They were very big in Japan, of course. And, the whole band here it's loud. There's backing them. You can hear it.
Surprised Facebook hasn't booted us off yet.
Well, I guess they can hear this. I don't know.
Not well, but they can crank it up just the tiniest bit.
This is like
people on
Jeff Beck on
Podbean.
speed.
Let me know if we're over modulating or anything. For a minute, it was Eddie Van Halen code. He got the same look, same stance.
But the album gets weird. Like they go into some weird shit, like
Japanese.
Oh, commercial. Let's see. That gets into like prog rock stuff.
Very Floyd-esque.
Should open the show like this.
Yeah, but I feel bad. A Japanese band playing like an air raid siren makes me feel almost kind of guilty. I mean, not really, but
it all comes from something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No.
This is pot smoking music as far as I'm concerned. This is what you want a big bowl.
That's what it sounds like they're doing.
And it gets weirder from here.
Yeah, I mean, I this is like what you don't want to listen at the dentist. You don't want to listen to this when you're getting like nitrous.
next thing.
Boing.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah. I think there's been some kind of like writing arguments.
It's all him.
Really? Just him.
His record.
Oh, Jeff knows.
No.
See,
Tokyo Rose?
the vocals are, and this isn't even loudness, but the vocals are just not. What the?
Sorry, mine did it too. Sorry, hang on a minute. We had a little bit of an explosion. Jesus Christ.
I wasn't expecting
Nor was I. Sorry.
Oh,
Give us a minute to recover from that. Well, I'm going to get pulled over on the way home.
Yeah. Some steam cleaning these carpets again.
Did you get it all over the floor?
Everywhere.
Oh, man. I just started inhaling it, and all of a sudden I realized I didn't have any more lung capacity. Oh my God! We're playing Loudness.
Yeah, I'll just skip. This is not Loudness. The guitar player from Loudness is called Tusk of Jaguar. Here you go. Listen to this shit.
But he was earlier. It was Loudness.
Yes.
It just sounds like a movie soundtrack from like
it does
30s. Or no,
that rabbit.
Yeah, this is like a silent movie. God, what a mess.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I lost everybody with this shit.
It's almost like it's just an experimental album.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, he's just playing around.
His favorite guitar player was Jeff Beck.
Boom. I'm kind of bummed Swan didn't show up yet.
What's that? Swan. Oh, yeah, well. She's not drunk yet. Or she's sleeping.
Yeah. Or she's not awake yet.
This is very proggy.
It's a mix.
Hey, it's RJ Ron Keogh. I wanted to make this quick
Who the hell are you? Go to hell. Shut up, you.
I thought his name was Ron Keel.
Maybe he did.
It's Ron Keogh.
Sure.
This is very Jeff Beck. I can guarantee you that nobody else in the entire world, and I mean this, is playing a Kira Takasaki Tusk of Jaguar at this moment.
Well, maybe not, yeah.
Anywhere. On any kind of airwaves.
There could be some little... Well,
there might be somebody who's
I was going to say, maybe
listening
some
to
little
it.
kid
Like,
in Japan.
That's all he's got. But, I mean, that's pretty interesting to think about.
Or there's some like Ubangi, like...
Shebang?
College, like a community college that has a radio station to it, yeah.
So I have a story about my community college.
Yeah.
That was almost like a journey.
Z nights.
A little twist.
I'm not singing it, but
so my wife and I were watching. Andrew Zimmer has a new show on HBO, and it's called Family Restaurant.
Oh, cool.
So we were watching it the week before last.
I like a guy
first
who's
episode.
A food critic who lived in a dumpster. Yeah.
So we were like, oh, this is interesting. Yeah, you're thinking of Anthony Bourdain?
No, Zimmer.
No? Okay.
He was homeless. He was
that's why you can
addict.
eat anything.
Yeah, except walnuts.
So we're watching the show, and we're like, this looks good. It's a nice Italian restaurant. And then it's in Newtown, Bucks County.
Oh, yeah.
5 minutes from where I went to junior college. For 2 years, I went to Bucks County Community College. And I transferred to Temple University and got my 4-year degree from there. So I had an associate's degree from Bucks and a bachelor's degree from Temple University, where I went for broadcasting, ironically, and I did nothing.
Look
with
where
it.
we are
Yeah,
now.
I'm now in a basement. But I chose a promising career in printing. Anyway, so I said that we should go check this place out. So I called the restaurant and got the father on the phone. His name is Pasquale.
Listen, you want to talk to me? I've seen you on
the place
TV.
is called Vecchio. I'm gonna butcher the name. I'm gonna look it up here. We went to this place Saturday evening at 5:00 and had dinner. Let me just get it.
Was it wonderful?
It was good. Vecchio Osteria.
Yeah.
And it's in Newtown, Pennsylvania. And it gets a 4.5 out of 5 stars, according to TripAdvisor. And it was very good.
What did you give it?
I would give it a solid 4. Okay. And there were minor reasons why I didn't give them a 5. We got
the paper on the floor of the bathroom.
No, nothing like that. That only happens at
everywhere else we go.
The place in King of Prussia that I went to a couple weeks ago. What was it? Seasons 52 was not looking too good.
Oh, really?
It was a little rundown.
Fuck that.
So it's a BYOB. So we bought a bottle of Coppola wine with us. It was very good. In fact, I really enjoyed it. And our appetizer was long hot, stuffed with mozzarella and wrapped in prosciutto.
Wow.
Right? Is that what they call that?
Sure.
I don't know. It's that
sounds right.
Salami or
I know what it
some
is,
kind of Italian shit. That
prosciutto.
Prosciutto, yeah. It was like, like bacon-y.
Yeah.
Very, 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 very good.
Some sort of pig.
It was excellent. And then we had calamari. The calamari did not come out hot, like steaming hot. And I expected, they probably sat too long. But the consistency was good. And calamari is one of those things, if you've never had it, if it's done poorly, it's like rubber bands.
Oh, did you ever have squid sushi?
No.
Or octopus?
I may have had an octopus. It's got to be done just right when you're doing these things.
Squid is really hard. The octopus usually tastes like some sort of hand soap. But so yeah.
And then we had a seafood pasta meal at the end with mussels and clams, and that was excellent. Trying to think what else we had with our dinner. I think that was it. But it was a good meal. I'd recommend the place. Unfortunately, it's like 50 minutes from here. But I took Nance to my old haunting, my old stomping ground.
Oh yeah,
my old haunt.
Used to,
drove through the campus at Bucks County Community, and she's like, "This is amazing. This is a community college because it looks like a small Ivy League school. It's a beautiful campus in Newtown, and it's an excellent school. At least it was. I went there close to what was 1985. I won't say how many years ago it was. It was a long time ago. I went there 85 to 87. Long time ago. I really enjoyed my time there, and I was a DJ at the radio station there, WTYL. Live from the steam pipe, as we used to say. And I look back on that time very fondly, and that was that was a lot of fun. And when I transferred to Temple, I tried to get onto the radio station there, and they wanted me to be a reporter, and I'm not a reporter. That's not what I do. I mean, I may gossip, but I may report things that have happened that are horrifying, but I'm not a reporter.
Yeah, it's make shit up.
I am an on-air person. I want to be doing, reading the news or whatever it is. When I was at Bucks, I read the news for just about every radio show that was on. I would stop in between classes. Did you read the news yet? Oh, I'll do it for you. And that was my claim to fame there. And I did a lot of commercials for everybody and had a lot of fun. And if I didn't have a class, I was in the radio station hanging out and spinning records and taking over other people's shows. I really, 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 not to sound like a simpleton, but I really did enjoy my time there. It was probably the best part of education that I ever had in my life, and did not get that experience at Temple University, unfortunately. And that's just me. It just didn't work out for me there the way I wanted it to. And it's a great school, and I have a degree, and who cares? It just didn't enjoy my time there. There were things about it that I did enjoy, and there were events that I enjoyed, but they were not educationally grounded, if you will. They were extracurricular.
Where I learned more from
with young ladies, but that's another story for another time.
Okay, you call me tomorrow.
Right. So, that was that. Anyway, so I took my wife there to show her the campus, and it was really cool. We drove all around the area, and it's Richboro, Newtown area. It's just a great area, and that was where I thought that I was going to end up as an adult with a home and, and a job and all that stuff. And somehow, packaging took me on this crazy, crazy left-hand turn. And I ended up in King of Prussia of all goddamn places.
It never works out the way you think.
No, life unfolds, and ye who thinks you have a plan, very few people follow the plan. I mean, I also thought I was going to be a rock star, but I had a backup plan in the whole process because I wasn't stupid. Maybe if I had gone back and recorded those grunge tunes they asked us to do, maybe it would have been a different ball of wax. I don't know. I just can't imagine Terry singing grunge.
Well, you just make it your own little thing. You just wear flannel and do what you're going to do. They won't notice.
I wear flannel every day now.
Yeah,
to work.
That's when that started. I remember
my work asked me to be in a work video to do some work, voiceover work and stuff today.
Yeah, but I mean, we used to go down to Philly and see a friend of mine. I was in a band called Tornado 5. They played Dobbs lot. And that was when grunge started taking over. And there was a band called Flight of Mavis. They're basically like a rock band.
I think I heard of that band.
And yeah, and they were just, they had the Seattle look, and they eventually evolved into it. But they were opening for like national acts like Sinead O'Connor.
Did you hear about J.C. Dobbs or Dobbs or whatever you want to call it? Mm-hmm. You hear what happened there?
No.
So Dobbs is now closed, or it's for sale again. I don't know if it actually physically closed.
They were trying to have like a reunion shows.
There was an incident.
Oh,
somebody got raped or something after hours within the premises in the residential section, apparently, and now bands are boycotting and not playing there.
Why? It's not Dobbs' fault.
It fell back on them, and now the owner is in a shitstorm, and he's selling the bar again. So once again, Dobbs is for sale.
But
if you
again,
want it.
I mean, I'm not trying to downplay something horrible to happen, but how is it Dobbs' fault? Did they?
It was in the residential section of their bar. Apparently, whatever, they have a residential section somewhere.
I mean, was it like the movie Witness, where everybody just watched, or I don't understand.
I don't know. I don't care. I'm not involved, and I don't really want to know, other than the fact that Dobbs is once again going down the shitter. And it's a cool place to see a band. It's a little small.
Yeah, it's small. All those places are small down there.
What it would be awesome is if they took over the place with the Larry Fine mural on it.
His house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That restaurant, I believe, is still empty. If somebody broke through and made that all into one place, then they could have a large stage and maybe really make a go of it. But South Street in general is not quite what it used to be either, which is another problem.
Ever since they got rid of Zipperheads.
Yes.
It just went to shit.
Well, they didn't get rid of it. Zipperhead closed.
It went away,
Yeah. But, there was a place called Mako's there that was great, if I'm not mistaken. And I one night I was at Mako's, and I had no idea who these people were, but I was basically hanging out with all the people from WDRE.
Oh, yeah.
And that was Preston, Steve, all those guys. They were all hanging out at the bar. They all hung out there, and I was hanging out with all these people. Had no idea. I used to do a radio show in college, and they're probably like, "Shut up, little boy." You don't know, man. But I was junior rock star then. That's when I had the Louis XIV haircut and all that stuff, and I really didn't care about anything because I thought my life was taking a different trajectory. I had a funny conversation with people at work today. Two different people who had no idea that I played music, and that I used to look like Louis XIV, and they just looked at me like, "You?" I'm like, "Yeah."
You look like a French monarch.
Yeah. It's just funny. Life is a funny little thing, and then you're 55.
Well, I was shocked. Like we just got all of us got deployed into new pods at work. So it's not just the group of people I was working with. we all got split up into people who do all kinds of different things. So I have a new boss and all this kind of stuff. So we had to do the, tell us what you work with, how long you've been with the company, and a fun fact.
I was born in 1573.
So I have a prehensile penis, but I had to, I didn't know what to say. I'm like, I don't tell these people. So I told them, I said, and I was the only person on camera other than my boss. Because
you're on camera.
Well, whenever you do a meeting, like a Zoom meeting, we use Teams. If the person hosting has the camera on, you're supposed to be on.
I gotcha.
Common courtesy. So I did that. Nobody else did. So I didn't want to turn it off. And so I'm there, and it's the behind me. I put up a background
behind you,
and it's just the cupola window of the International Space Station. So it looks like I'm in space.
That's cool. Good move.
So it was because he's an astrophysicist, my boss. So he loved that. So anyway, so I was there. I'm trying to think of something to say. So I'm like,
transitioned into the Amboy Dukes now.
There you go. So I'm like, I have this background because behind me is a futon full of Halloween costume parts. So it's like an armor graveyard.
In the space station.
And I don't know. That's why the space station picture's there. And I said, I just didn't want to have to explain that every time.
Yeah.
And
why are there errant body parts behind you?
It became
it's nothing.
Huge conversation about it, like about your house and my house. And so this half-hour thing where we're supposed to talk, like there's like 8 people. We're all supposed to say what we, all our little intro. Mine was like 10 minutes long or 15 minutes.
That Halloween.
Oh, I feel like such a dick. Yeah, it was just all about the shit we did.
We don't have cameras in the office. So whenever I get on one of these calls now, because I'm now required, I won't say forced, but I am required to be in the office 3 days a week. And I don't have a camera there. So they, I'm never on camera. But I used to be on camera. When I was at home on camera, I would be sitting in the den.
Yeah.
So behind me, they'd see the bar
mm-hmm.
and the bar lights going and guitars and
Kiss,
Star Wars and Kiss and Judas Priest and Iron Maiden. And then everybody was like, oh, what the, what's going on there, man? And designers are inherently musicians. A lot of them, I would end up in conversations. We'd get way off topic all the time.
Well, half the people I work
and
with
now that
are
doesn't
bands.
happen.
They're all like metalheads.
Yeah.
Like they all talk about like, I'm really
speaking of that,
I'm really into 80s metal. And I'm just like, that's the fucking word now.
Mr. Giannini's getting some very good gigs.
Is he?
Yes.
Nice.
They played a really good gig this past week. And he asked if Old School could come up and play on Saturday with them, but I had plans.
Are you guys already playing?
No, the past Saturday. But they played a really big hall with a lot of people in it.
I saw it. It was nice.
So a lot of neat
really
stuff,
cool.
And good for him, man. He's a great bass player.
Need to get him down the street.
He just needs to jump the fence.
He just go down there and kiss some ass.
Oh, I don't know. Well, I'll tell you what. I feel like Old School and now Resurrection has taken it to another level.
Mm-hmm.
The more heavy bands are penetrating the local scene and playing a lot of these places, which is interesting. So I feel responsible for that because I really feel like Old School was the band that really forged the way.
Go down and tell these guys they should have bands playing?
Yes.
When you moved in?
Well, no, it wasn't that simple. But
yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to.
Lauren, a friend of ours named Lauren, helped us get in Old School into Screwballs because they really weren't having bands at the time.
Yeah.
And they might have like an acoustic guy during lounge hour or whatever, But we got ourselves in there, and as far as I know, under the Screwballs moniker, the first band to ever play there was Old School, or it might have been Stumpy Jones, but probably it was Screwballs. So,
wow,
yeah,
but yeah, no,
and now it's a staple. That place is a music generating place.
A lot of weird bands, I think, new bands that I've never heard are playing.
Well, they have to mix it up, and they need to bring in fresh blood.
Yeah, because
you know how it goes.
I know my friend Brian
Blackjacks is coming back.
Brian
I
Stutzman. I
talks with what's that?
Brian Stutzman.
You've mentioned him before.
He plays in. He used to play in Just Add Water. He is not in it anymore. He's retired, but they're playing at Peppers next week sometime.
We're playing Peppers this Saturday.
We're playing the day after. Yep.
Yeah.
What time's that? 9:30?
8:30 show. Yeah. So I think I'm bringing my Telecaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took it to the last gig we played, and I had a really good time playing her. Every time I play her, she's a lot of fun. Our last gig was at Sweeney's, if I'm not mistaken, and it was a very fun show. My friend Larry Dresden was doing sound. He is a master of the soundboard. He is brilliant.
Thought he was
just
a wizard.
Brilliant.
I always think he's a wizard, but that's just me.
He might be a wizard.
No, I think it's another Dresden.
Oh,
yeah, somebody else.
This is Larry Dresden.
Oh, I'm thinking.
Does a lot of work with Mike
Harry
LeCompte.
Dresden.
Mike LeCompte, not to drop names or anything, but he does a lot of work with Mike LeCompte. And Larry and I know each other from childhood. So we had a really, really good show there after the first set. First set was a little wonky. Yeah, I'll tell you about that off air.
I'm still shocked that Nick's is closing on Cotman.
So apparently it was a contractual argument over the price of the rent. It was raised. And so as a person, so the people that own the property must be having financial issues because
COVID.
Let's think about it. You've got a bar that generates income steadily. And if you're going to nickel and dime the bar, you now have 1, 2, I think 4 storefronts to fill.
Yeah.
Unless you can find somebody that's going to go in there and bite off that big chunk of change.
I mean, that place is usually fairly busy all the time.
Yeah, it does a good business. And it's been a staple in Northeast Philly since 1969. Now, it started out a couple doors down, and then, at one point they moved to the larger spot that it's in now. But, it made the Inquirer news yesterday. That's how big a deal this is.
Yeah,
that place was a staple. And for me, when I was coming up, I used to dream of playing the Empire and drank underage at Nick's when in many years ago, it was a different world.
Yeah. They didn't give a shit.
But Nick's was the place, even, after 21 that I went. That was my bar. That was where I hung out. It's
a nice bar.
It was only, one storefront in those days. Mm-hmm. And it was where everything happened. We spent all of our every instinct meeting happened at Nick's.
I just see when you're a teenager, the mall closes and everybody just runs across.
That's what we did. Yeah. And, so I would go and hang out at the Empire. And then we would hang out in the parking lot, but we weren't 21. So we would go to Nick's.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And if we were feeling really daring, we would go down to Sportsters on the Boulevard.
Oh, I miss Sportsters. God, I miss Sportsters.
And their cube of onion rings.
Yeah. Oh no.
So,
but
those were our hangouts, and there was Ye Old Ale House. I think that was at the Boulevard and Red Lion Road. These are all the places that I spent my time, and a lot of times I just spent literally parked in the parking lot at Roosevelt Mall, blasting my music and annoying the cops and
Dude, I the first 12 jobs I ever had were probably at the King of Prussia Plaza.
See,
and then my first hangout was
this was your area.
Yeah.
See, for me, that was my area.
Yeah, my first hangout was Bennigan's.
Right. We had a Bennigan's.
Yeah. Well, back then, I mean, it was it was kind of like an Applebee's, but not an Applebee's. Better. But it was funny because there was Bennigan's, the Ground Round. And then whatever they have, Popcorns was the other one. Well, and it became
so it's funny because I knew of Popcorns because I knew
everybody.
One of my girlfriends, her friends used to go there and
never got in.
Ground Round,
they would card.
I didn't know anything about anything. I never came to King of Prussia Mall when I was younger.
It was weird. You'd be, I'd be 17 years old, and I'm over at Bennigan's having a beer.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't dude, I'll show you a picture of me at 17.
That's all right. I started drinking when I was 12. But I wasn't in a bar.
Yeah, I mean, I did not look old enough, but I'm sitting there drinking a beer and you hear over the loudspeaker, it's
yeah, Popcorns just gave us a call. The LCB is rating them at the moment. They may be over here.
And it's kids would just.
Yeah, we had the same thing. Ye Old Ale House, the LCB came in. I was over 21. My girlfriend wasn't. I said, push a drink to me.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, 2 fists tonight. I said, whatever it takes.
Sure.
But I remember when I was at Bucks County Community College, I used to go and hang out in the.
That is not looking. That is not a 21-year-old. That's me at 17.
Yeah, you look young.
Yeah, there's no way.
Your daughter looks a lot like you.
I know, the poor thing.
Funny.
Yeah.
So I used to go to the ground round near Oxford Valley Mall. It was across the street. I'm trying to think. It was, where Reedman's.
Yeah.
It was in that vicinity. I used to go up there and hang out, and used to go on dates there, various dates, because I went to Bucks County Community College, so all the girls I was meeting were up there, and that's where we go to hang out. It was funny. I remember getting chicken teriyaki a lot, and I thought I was sophisticated because I was getting something with orange flavor.
We get like a big ass plate of nachos, and everybody'd have like a case of beer each. It was
so
terrifying.
Funny, man.
And
then I didn't know what to order because my father liked kamikazes. So whenever I would get a drink, I'd be like, "Give me a kamikaze," or I would say a Long Island iced tea. Like, dude, you got to drive. Like they're like the fucking strongest drink.
Yeah.
What? Just drink out of the bottle straight.
Like I remember going there with girls who would like get pictures of kamikazes.
Yeah,
and like
that's what you used to get at the Sportsters all the time.
I remember when I was 21, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna get you a prairie fire." And I'm like, okay, and they're not trying to be nice; they're trying to fuck me over. So it's made with like a shit ton of Tabasco.
Oh,
and
you're like, I can handle it.
So I'm like, all right, and
give it to me.
I mean, I'm okay.
Yeah, tomorrow, guy's going to pay for that, not today.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's not like I am now. Like now, I had nachos tonight. Tomorrow, I'd be shit and flame. But then it was no big deal. So I just drank the thing, and they just like stared at me, and I'm like, what? Doesn't it burn? I'm like,
not yet.
A little bit.
Maybe tomorrow.
Like it's got Tabasco in it. I'm like, it's fucking Tabasco. It's not like
right.
It's not insanity sauce. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
But oh my god, yeah. I told you I never used to like. I'd go out with like a bunch of guys that were like ex-Marines and shit, and they're like, "Give me a beer, give me a beer, give me." I get like a fuzzy navel, and they'd just look at me, and you'd hear like that, and I'm like, I don't like beer. Because they're all drinking like Budweiser and stuff.
So that's funny. When we went to Nick's, we had a different drinking agenda than when we went to other places.
Mm.
So Nick's was usually beer and shots. It was always shots of Jack and beers.
Yeah, see, I never.
With the occasional, we'd occasionally get drink. Then there was a place called Woody's, which was at Tyson and the Boulevard. And for whatever reason, whenever we went there, we would get Alabama Slammers.
Oh God, I could never do that because I knew some chick that drank that shit.
So we would go there, and I would be there.
Such an 80s drink.
The crowd that we hung out with there was his friend Mike Bonner, and then it was the Meatball Larry squad, as I call it. My buddy Larry and Russ, and all the Rich DePietro, the guy who used to live here, and all these guys. We'd all like pile in, and then my fiance. I was the only one with like a steady.
Yeah, isn't that fun?
And then she would freak out, and there'd be some fight, and she'd yell at me, and I'd end up in the parking lot, and she'd be screaming at me, and then the big dudes would come out and
Isn't
start
that fun?
Looming around like, dude, you don't want her. Trust me, she's fucking crazy. I didn't do anything. Anyway, but it was always.
I don't want to kill you, but I'm not.
It was always like the Alabama Slammer effect going on. It was. But those were the days, and those were the places we went to. And then the other place we used to hang out was the Velvet Lounge.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that was like the bar that Mike LeCompte owned, but he didn't own it. But if you know, you know. But Stephanie Sky's on, and
hey,
her boyfriend Mike works with Anthony Baker, and Anthony Baker's father owned the Velvet. And I used to play there, and I used to hang out there all the time. And it was hi Steph, and it was like one of the places that you went, and the Velvet was a place that used to be a former go-go bar.
Oh, nice. So it had.
I mean, the name's Velvet Lounge. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but Mike LeCompte would come in there. I think it was like Thursday night or whatever it was, and he just dominated the place. It was unbelievable, the crowds that would show up, and Mike still does that today, and Mike's in his 60s now. Someday he's going to come down and do the show because he promised you and I he would do the show.
He said he'd be down there.
So I got to get on Larry Dresden. We got to get that thing together and get Mike in here because Mike is a hoot. To have him in the stories that he would tell.
I would actually speak.
Yeah. Yeah. You did.
Yeah.
I got to get that guy down here. I got to work on that. Yeah, that's anyway. So, the Velvet Lounge, another place. And then of course, as time went by, then I started playing in bands, and then it was the Cell Block.
Well, that's what's weird.
The Empire Rock
kids
Club.
don't go out now. Like I was reading this thing earlier today.
No, they do social
They're carrying
parties.
gallon jugs with booze in it now.
Yeah, it's no fun, man.
What the hell is that?
But think about it though. They can't really go anywhere the way we did.
G'day.
We got away with it.
Well, yeah, it was like you knew the places you could go.
Right.
Like Bennigan's was easy because they didn't give a shit.
There were a lot of places
they were a
that
big
didn't
place.
give it.
As long as you didn't misbehave, they didn't care.
If you tipped well.
They were all like restaurants though. But then
today
there was
they could lose their liquor license.
There was a place
in a microsecond.
Primo's up in Paoli was a little tap room we used to go to. And like a friend of mine, Pat, who was an alcoholic in 11th grade. I mean, like wicked, like couldn't function alcoholic. But we would go up there, like he knew them, like all of them, because he lived across the street. So we just walk in. But it was amazing. Like I would go in, I didn't drink liquor. Finally eventually started liking beer because I didn't know there was beer that had flavor to it. I always thought it just tastes like ass. Oh, Steph, the King of Prussia, that's where we drank the Woods.
See, now that was a Roxborough thing. My ex-wife used to tell me about.
Oh my God.
So there was a place in
Everywhere
Northeast Philly called the Philly Cookbook.
That sounds
And it was like this basement bar under the L somewhere in, I don't know, near Margaret Orthodox or something. And I remember a lot of my musician friends going there. And I know I was there.
Yeah.
I have no memory of it.
Well, that's probably a good thing.
So, when I used to go, like my whole thing as a kid was, and this is terrible. I mean, really, my whole goal was just to get annihilated. So I would get whatever super strong alcohol drink I could get, whether it was, whatever it was. I drank to the point where I couldn't walk. And then it was somebody else's problem to get me home.
Yeah, I've
experienced
lived that.
Yeah. And it happened as an adult, but that was because I took some drugs from somebody. That's another story for them.
That was your wife took you on that night.
We had a good time at George Lynch that time. Were you at George Lynch? Or you were at the Heaven's Edge?
Heaven's Edge.
Heaven's Edge when I was.
Heaven's Edge was the chocolate.
The chocolate.
Yeah.
But she was with me at George Lynch. I was doing shot after shot after shot after shot after shot after shot at the bar, and having a damn good time. That was a Dobbs.
I can't do that, man. I can't get drunk enough, and this is a good thing. I'm not complaining. I can't get drunk enough to black out or pass out. I'll puke. Like I'll get exorcist sick.
That never really happened.
I won't get past that point. Well, my body's smarter than yours.
No, my body was like, give me more. But tomorrow your head will hurt very badly.
I was more of like a beer guy back in the day because like that's what I drank, and I wasn't a big fan of like now I don't do shots anymore because it's too much.
Yeah, I love it.
I just can't do it.
But it was around 12, 13. That's
about the time, yeah.
So, that's when it all started. And, in the Jewish tradition, you went to bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs. And there was always like an open bar of some sort.
Yeah, it's like a wedding.
And, being the stupid moron I was, I remember one bar mitzvah, I walked up to the bartender and he said, "What would you like, son?" And I said, "I'd like a gin and Coke." And he looked at me and started to laugh, and he says, "You want a gin and Coke, huh?
Want that with your pretzel and hot ketchup?" Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
I'll make you a gin and Coke. And he made me a gin and Coke.
That sounds gross.
And little did he know.
You didn't give a shit.
I didn't give a shit because I was going in my father's bar as a kid at 12 years old, and I would siphon, 6 millimeters out of every bottle and pour it into all that went into one other bottle, which got shaken up and then mixed with orange juice or my mother's iced tea.
Oh, damn. I did that to a guy when skiing.
And sometimes I drank it straight. So to me, it tasted great.
Yes.
And he put a shit ton of gin in. So
you probably want to make you puke.
Next thing you know, they're taking pictures. We're on the steps. It was this like nice place.
You're naked. You're tied up in a basement.
No, none of that.
Oh, okay.
But we're on a set of steps. All the kids from the bar mitzvah are on the steps, the girls and the boys. And one of the girls was sitting on the step above me. I looked up and there was the skirt.
Oh, dear God.
And I inserted my head.
Oh, okay. Lovely.
Yeah.
At least it was just your head.
And you know, those kids had no idea like who I was really. You know what I mean? Like now, you know, 40 years later, whatever. Okay, he's the guy in the band. Oh, it all makes sense now.
I was weirder than that. Like if I drink too much as a kid, especially if I drank, I was just me, but like more tired and not coordinated at all.
No, I was the guy that was like, okay, where do we go to lay in the middle of the road and stop traffic? How do I? How can I take apart this house and cause a problem?
Yeah.
How about I lock myself in the closet, and nobody knows what's going on, and I'm in there making noise and screaming.
Yeah, I used to handcuff myself to my parents' railing and throw the key in and try to figure out how to get it back and get out. But see, I wasn't drunk doing that. It's just me.
Yeah, see, I was drunk.
Yeah, no, I didn't do that because
then I would smoke a lot of pot and listen to Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin.
I tell you, my dad used to drink shit beer, so it's like I'm not drinking
this isn't
this
good.
crap.
I'm putting this all on the radio. Somebody's going to use this against me.
Nobody
you know what?
cares.
I'm 55. What the fuck are you going to do to me?
What are they going to? First of all, like I was going to do some rant about influencers because I hate that term and that it's a job, but we're obviously not that. And good God, please don't.
I hope we're not influencing anybody.
Christ, don't emulate us. Jesus.
This is not a show for children.
Well,
this is brought to you. Oh, too much echo. Oh, what the?
I'm still pissed. Our first caller was like
the American Moron Entertainment Network does not.
Wait a minute. I forgot I can do one of these for you.
Yeah, do a bumper.
You're listening to the American Moron Entertainment Network.
Good. Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen.
I thought that was apropos. So there you go.
Sounds about right.
But no, man. Like I remember the first caller we had on the show was what, like 12 or 13, and you lost your goddamn mind thinking I was going to be gross with them.
Well, I just thought we were going to jail.
We're not going to go to jail. We were asking them simple questions. We're not doing anything wrong.
I was listening to the show and they were telling me I should drink everything in my dad's bar. Instructional video.
No.
Then last week we had the insanity break loose.
That was fun. You got to stop insulting people that call in, though. It's cruel.
You know, she was drunk.
So what? It was fun. You gotta.
Don't tell me to lighten up.
I didn't tell you to lighten up.
You were getting there.
I just don't insult people, man. They're doing our work for us. Hey, baby doc.
A little uncomfortable.
Why?
I'm just saying.
Why are you uncomfortable?
It was uncomfortable.
Why?
I don't know. I felt uncomfortable.
Why? Because you were trying to be gross?
No, I was just being me.
Well, that's fine. That's what we're here for. That's what you're supposed to do.
So we're down to 8 minutes.
Well, if dating profile should be easy, interest, puss, and the crushing of puss, shutting that puss down, annihilating that puss, making that puss uninhabitable for 1,000 years, and feminism.
There you go. Yeah. What? Oh, yeah, we do. Like, well, you want to plug your thing coming up, or while we're playing around with this stuff?
Yeah, sure. So this Saturday night in lovely King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, the mighty band Old School wields their knives of death and destruction in hard rock.
Nice.
8:30 p.m. The best of the 80s and some of the 70s.
None of the 90s.
None of the 90s. None of that stuff.
Let's not have that conversation.
So, if you've got nothing better to do this Saturday night, stop into Peppers by Amadeus. King of Prussia, Old School will be there, rocking it out.
Try the pizza; it's very good. With a lobster
food there
risotto,
is very good.
Yeah. The fuck
I
was
want to
that?
hear what that is again.
Oh,
hold on a second.
What was that?
I don't know. I'm trying to get there. Hold on. What happened? All right, hold on a second. Here you go. You ready?
Yeah.
Fuck her right in the pussy.
Oh, gotcha.
Isn't that what happened?
When?
Your little pussy belongs to me.
Oh, that's creepy.
You're gonna learn to do what I fucking tell you to.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Give me that.
I don't like that either. Oh, for fuck's sake. I just like what Steph said, because that's what we did around here. that was instead of bars, we just hung out in the woods.
See,
even now, like I
get
walk
invited to those parties, so we just
you don't get invited. You don't get invited. You walk around, you see somebody you know or somebody you don't. You see a fire and you walk over.
Live in a Jewish neighborhood.
I'm just saying that's how we did.
Oh, you go into the woods. What are you gonna do?
I remember. I think I told you. Like I was walking around. I had nothing to do. All my friends were elsewhere. I just started walking around the fields near the church.
This is what happened in my house.
Sure. Nice. That's terrifying. And I ran into a guy from school who was looking for a couple of cases of beer. He hid in the woods, and I'm like, I'll help you.
Now what we used to do is we knew guys who were 21. We'd be like, can you get us some beer?
We did. There were just ways. I mean, you just found ways to get it. I don't even know how. I think people used to just steal it from their fathers. They didn't know. You take one or two every time that your dad got like a case of beer. For me, that'd be like 2 or 3 weeks, and I'd have another case to sit beside, you know. But yeah, I mean, Walker Field.
That's where my son used to play baseball.
All back in those, they used to be all woods back there. There was always shit going on, and that's where I found out cheerleaders actually have souls. I had no idea. But like we walk around here, like over by Hauser Park, and I'm like walking through, and I'm looking in the woods, like I see a tree falling down. I'm like,
oh, that'd be perfect right there. Let's put a little fire there.
Like I look up and you see like all the thorns, those Pennsylvania thorns, like those red ones that are like hairs, and they stick in you and tear your.
Oh yeah. They get stuck in your socks.
I look at like thickets of that shit, and I'm just like, oh, how many times I've run through that if somebody yelled "cop." The no fun part about living around here was my dad and my uncle went to school with the cop who was like an ex-homicide detective who then was.
That's who you want hanging out with your kids.
Well, he was doing juvenile stuff in Upper Merion, so he knew who I was, and he didn't like me. So
I can't imagine why he didn't like you.
I had very long hair. But I remember the cops. I can remember the cops yelling at me like, "How many times like you hear, what, you can't hear with hair over your ears?" And when they do that, the wrong response is what? So I don't know. But yeah, they were not happy. Oh, Steffi's cemetery. That's awesome. Yeah, I love doing that. People are always afraid to go to those places, but I think they're fun. There's one. Will you stop? There's ones behind. I don't
know what's going on, honestly.
You're doing it. You clicked a bazillion things, and now they're all catching up to you.
A bear did cocaine.
Man.
That is not me.
There with me. All that's you. I'll bet you $100 if you close that.
This is me.
Yeah. Doc, you weren't playing a bunch of sound effects, were you?
It was Doc.
I wasn't playing sound effects now.
Well, yeah, there's a cemetery up behind Peppers. That's like been here
I've seen
since
that
forever.
Yeah,
I used to go back up in there, and like there were fields. There still are fields all around here, but kids don't go outside anymore. It's a shame. Hey.
Work. Hello, boys. Have a good night's rest. I missed you.
It's not me.
It's neither of us. I
That
don't know where
one
it's
was me.
Oh, that one's you?
See,
Okay.
I told
That
you.
one was me.
Gotcha.
That's not me.
How the fuck you search for cemetery and that's what comes up?
That's the problem with this.
Somebody dropped the soap.
Apparently.
It's a cemetery thing.
Shut the fuck up!
It's not a cemetery. Oh, be careful. We got in trouble for that before.
Probably.
What the holy hell? Let me see what I'm doing here. Well, it's 9 o'clock.
It's time to lock up the kids and get in bed.
Is it?
I don't have kids anymore.
No, I still do. She's at work though. All right, Will.
It's been real.
Has it?
No.
Oh. All right. So we'll be back Tuesday next.
To do this,
as far as I know,
mess again.
The hell else are we doing? So, Doc, thanks for coming in. Good to hear from you a little bit.
All right.
As you could poke through all this noise. Turn that down just a little bit. One of these days, man, you got to get to an old school show. We gotta hang out.
April 1st, I plan on being at the Rib House.
Oh, the Ribby.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'll be
Or are you just
celebrating my
talking about this
birthday.
because it's April 1st? What's that?
April 1st, I'll be there. I'll be celebrating my birthday. My birthday's April 5th, so we'll be there for a birthday party.
Oh, okay. Then we got to embarrass the shit out of
You know what we do when that happens?
Get him a cake or something. What?
Rocket.
Maybe I should keep my mouth shut.
Nah, it's too late. You're fucked.
Rocket.
Oh
Sex
my
and
God.
drugs and alcohol.
Drugs and alcohol.
See, yeah, you're kind of predictable.
Touch it. Touch it. Touch it. Touch it.
This guy.
Don't touch it.
No.
All right. Well, thanks for Doc. Thanks for everybody
That needs to be
else.
fixed.
Thanks for Pat for calling in, and Baby Doc.
That
I know
needs
you're
to be
out there
fixed.
somewhere, and to everyone on Facebook who I have that window crash, but Steph and everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you next week. Ja.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Ja. Word.
Good night.
Good night. Take it easy, guys.
Good night.
Word.
Good riddance.
Easy, man. Dick.